Hello to all you geeks and degenerates out there. Today, and it's kind of fitting since it is kind of rainy in my area right now. Pretty
Same
much,
here.
we are doing we are doing a horror movie, which is the latest Conjuring, Conjuring 3. The Devil Made Me Do It. Anyway, to all of you, first thoughts. How did you know this movie? What did you think of the trailer? If you saw the trailer, and what were your thoughts on it? Were you excited about it or not really?
Uh, Not really excited. I was conjured out. So
You
this,
were conjured out.
yeah, I
I
was
was
conjured
conjured
out.
out after the first one.
Yeah, I
Yeah, yeah,
mean, since James Wan wasn't doing this, I was like, I don't know. And then I saw the trailer. I was like, I still don't know. We'll see what happens. But like, I wasn't
yeah.
really looking forward to this. Didn't expect much, and I was kind of surprised. I kind of like this movie. But yeah,
I'm gonna save it for later, but okay. Fuck. Yeah. Wait,
Uh,
how about you?
I'm not a I'm gonna preface this by saying I'm not a big horror movie person. I'm not a big horror person in general. Like horror movies, horror stories, horror games. I just not really my thing. Not because like I can't handle the scary shit, but it's just I find it frustrating most of the time. Is a lot of horror just ends up depending on the characters doing a bunch of stupid shit.
Making really
Uh,
dumb decisions.
Yeah, and so I'm not really that in touch with the horror scene, so I never really bothered. Well, this movie wasn't really on my radar. Like
Neither was on mine.
I saw the first Conjuring when it first came out. I didn't see the second, and well, I for in preparation for this video, I saw the third. So honestly, I didn't really know what to expect except my impressions from the first movie, which was that it's a lot like Insidious, I guess, where it's the kind of horror that I like,
Hmm.
where it's not cheap jump scares. Well, there are jump scares in this movie, but like they're not like the main source of
Scare.
yeah.
yeah, like
Yeah,
fear factor.
yeah.
Uh, so yeah, didn't have any expectations really going to this movie, uh, but overall, I
But yeah, for me, I've been conjured out since the first one. The second one they said it was good. I haven't seen it yet. I watched Annabelle. I watched all the origin story. La Royona. I can't pronounce the name.
That's fine.
Um, but yeah, like I was conjured out from the first one because I saw the rest. I was like, wow, it's like a one-hit wonder, and that was it.
Kind of is.
Uh, it kind of is. And then I saw, then Enzo pretty much forced me to watch this one because I really had no plans on watching this.
I
But
mean,
yeah,
sure.
I mean, to be honest, I was surprised though because as much of it is not a horror movie. For me, it's not a horror movie. This
it's more like a suspense thriller.
I was gonna say, yeah,
Yeah,
it's a thriller. It's not scary to the point where like the first Conjuring was.
Yeah, it's more like suspenseful and unsettling than
Yeah,
it is scary.
and if they weren't trying to market it as a horror movie, and they market it as an investigation horror, someone like Seven, I would say that this was done quite well.
Mm.
And bless you to whoever coughed at the background.
sure.
Yeah. Well, yeah, so you guys want to move on to the actual plot of the story. And I'm just pointing, and to everybody watching and to both of you, I'm just going to be pointing out the big things that really stood out to me. If you guys got any like scenes that you really like, please do say so. Yeah. So yeah, let's pretty much start from the exorcism. Oh, actually no, it is an exorcism, but I mean like it was straight up pulled out of the Exorcist movie.
Yeah.
It's especially the opening scene where the priest is just like arriving and he looks up in the house. I love that, to be
I do
honest.
love that
That shit
shot.
was sick. That shit was sick.
That was a really like pretty shot.
Those are
Yeah.
really pretty shots.
Like say what you will about this movie, I think it was shot really well.
It was.
It was.
I did not like the not the dialogue, the audio though. It was again they keep drowning out audio for horror movies. I don't know why they could do that. But anyway, yeah. So back to the possession of this little child at the start of the movie. Yeah. Again, that scene, and it's just 30 seconds of him walking into the house, and pretty much just showing that what he's fighting is a little bit more greater than him. And I don't know, I love that cinematography. But yeah, the first things we see is this child writhing and contorting, and pretty much putting gymnasts to shame
Poor kid.
and yoga instructors. I was like, my God! I was watching this at like 11 and like at night. I was like, I don't think I'm ready for this. I was like, I don't think I'm ready for this. And then just saying the kid did such good acting for this one as well. Like he's one of the few child actors in horror movies that weren't annoying.
Yeah, I'd say he played his role very well.
Yeah.
And like kids got chops.
Kids got
Give him that.
chops. But yeah, what do you guys think of the exorcism scene, or like some scenes that I might have missed out on?
I do like body horror, especially
Yeah,
when
yeah,
kids
same here.
contorting and twisting. It's like, oh God, poor child. Hopefully, he doesn't remember that when he's not possessed.
Yeah,
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 see, like
you're gone.
here's this thing about body horror. It just doesn't really do anything for me. Like oh, your head spun 180 degrees. Cool, whatever. Yes,
You play too much Mortal Kombat, mate.
look at you. You're quadruple jointed now. Like, all right,
No,
whatever.
that's my question though for for the characters in the movie. Say if I got possessed, God hope I don't. Lord.
But right now, mine.
If I got possessed and I start doing that, and then I became not possessed, wouldn't the stress on my joints and muscles like still be there from contorting in a way that I shouldn't?
That is a good
Realistically, I guess.
But no, I think God was like, okay, you're fully healed, fully rezzed.
question, I guess.
But yeah, that shit always bothered me. But yeah, and then one of the stupid scenes I kind of found is that I kind of get it. Is that when they're like banishing the spirit from the kid, the character Arnie just starts one-upping this demon. I was like, you sure?
You sure
Are you
about
fucking
this?
sure? I was like, you better shut. Even the Warren guy, Ed Warren, was like, "Wait, don't talk to him. Stop talking to him." Just- but no, he was like, "No, you got this."
Shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up right now.
No, you all shut the fuck up. I'm gonna give this kid a pep talk. Wait up. You got this. You got it in you. I'm like, stop talking. We almost have
Believe
this.
in the me that believes in
Believes in
you.
Yeah, because of that stupid fucking action, it pretty much jumps towards him now. Like the demon goes towards him, and yeah, it was kind of pretty much like a Infinite War scene where they almost got him out, and then one character does something stupid,
Yeah.
and then it breaks out of the handcuffs. I was like, God damn. Yeah, and then we find out that, oh my God, Ed Warren has a heart problem.
Yeah.
Which actually, which is actually a really good, a really good
Plot device.
counter.
Yeah.
Yeah, more like another villain to this movie is that this guy has a heart problem now.
Yeah.
In a profession where
The
your BP
secondary
goes.
antagonist of this movie, Ed's heart condition.
But yeah, like where your BP has to be low, has to be high all the time because you're fighting demons. And yeah, especially just a light jog in the woods is such a scary task for him now.
Yeah.
I, I,
Was that a light jog though? Because his wife is kind of like dead sprint.
she was wearing heels. That
Yeah,
woman was an athlete.
yeah, and like here's this near 50-year-old man, basically a cripple at this point in the movie, just doing his best, I guess, is the word.
Yeah.
Is the word.
It adds tension because you're like, oh god, his heart.
Yeah,
Is it
there we
going to
go.
give out? Is it going to give out at any time? Especially in the
Yeah,
cliff
it-
scene, which we'll get to later.
It's a
Yeah.
good way to raise the stakes in the movie. I
Yeah.
like that.
And I like that. Yeah, again, this is not a horror movie for me. This is more of suspense and thriller. Uh, and what I will say though is that they did move around in this movie a lot. As one reviewer kind of said as well. Um, they said that they went from place to place and a lot, instead of focusing on the house or an area, which was like a really big deal for moviegoers when you watch a horror movie and it happens in a house. And then once you're finished with the movie, you go back home to a house. So the threat is still in your head, and like the suspense is still up there, which this movie kind of ruined. If it was going for a horror, since it was going for a horror, which kind of did poorly.
Hmm.
But if you, to me, this is more of a thriller, so I'll leave it at that.
I mean, I respect that it tried to do its own thing.
It did, yeah, it did.
Yeah.
Because like every horror movie, you know, it's just like here's a house, bad shit happens in it,
Yeah.
and like that's the entire movie. Like
Hmm.
this movie, while it might not have succeeded being like at good horror,
Hmm.
I can at least respect the fact that it tried to do something a little bit different.
Yeah, it went out of its own formula, which
Yeah,
James
it
once had had.
It felt fresh.
Yeah.
It did. I give this movie credit to a degree. But yeah, so moving on, and then one of the biggest scenes that really stood out to me is the part when Arnie starts experiencing the possession. His mistake of like, hey, I'm a white knight, I'm gonna self-sacrifice myself for this kid when we could actually just take this thing out. But no.
You have to be the big
But
hero.
but they couldn't take the thing out.
Oh right,
Like,
right. They had that like little curse thing, right. Forgot
Yeah.
about
Yeah,
Yeah.
like the entire point of the curse was that you had to find the altar and break it to
Yeah,
dispel
yeah.
the curse.
My bad.
Otherwise, you couldn't do shit.
Yeah.
But all right, so you got a point there. You got me. But yeah. So we get to the first part of Arnie pretty much experiencing possession, and my God, that shit was actually legit scary for me. Like I could see how this can work. Like if somebody were to be possessed, I could see that this is what they would see,
Yeah.
and this is how they would act out.
Yeah.
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 I love how they filmed like the possession sequences. I just like
Yeah.
sort of like the inner mindscape kind of deal. Like
Mm.
it adds a very like it's almost like a psychological horror kind of element.
Yeah.
A little bit. Not exactly
Right.
psychological horror, but
It was very psychological horror at that scene because you could see him like trying to cope with it and trying to go back to normal.
Yeah, it's more like internalized, like internal
Yeah.
horror rather than like external like gore fest shit.
Yeah. No, like yeah, that's what I loved about this scene is that he's not see. Oh, he does see like ghosts and like demons in his head, but I think majority of the time it's him having like hyper senses. This like him seeing his girlfriend dance with another guy. It's fucking with his head. The
Yeah.
music's so loud, the dogs barking in the background, and then suddenly he just goes deaf. Like this is the man who's losing his mind, and you can tell he's losing his mind. It's not just ghost. Yeah, I love that build up.
Is
Really do.
that right? Was he kind of assaulting his girlfriend? That's why he stepped in?
No, he wasn't. Again, it was all in his head.
It was on okay.
Yeah, like the girlfriend wasn't having a problem with the guy. They were just dancing, and the dude's a little bit drunk, but he wasn't touching her in any way.
Okay.
And the whole like, him being too grabby is just all in his head.
Okay.
But yeah, then that shit freaked me out was when he started turning, Remus Lupus, werewolf-esque. I was like, eesh.
Right.
And pretty much just chases him. And I was like, damn, this boy has a knife? When did we establish that this boy has a knife? But okay. And yeah, he pretty much just shanks the guy.
Yeah.
Um,
I like the fact that they don't really show it too. You just know what happens. But the implication.
Oh
of the
yeah,
knife.
yeah. Yeah, but like it zooms out of the house and you just hear stab, stab, stab.
Yeah.
And I was like, tasteful. It's very tasteful.
Yeah.
I like that. I like that.
Yeah, I wish they would have shown it.
Okay.
Sure.
Yeah.
Like, for as much as I give this movie credit for taking risks, it feels like it's playing a little too safe sometimes. Like with the stabbing scene, just
Wait.
show me the guy getting murked, please.
I do. I will say there was a scene that I really did like. I will not say it yet. I will say it once we get to it. So yeah. But yeah, it involves with that subject. And then the Warrens pretty much have to investigate. Well, going back to the story, the Warrens had to investigate the whole. Where did this come from? Why isn't it not responding to the shit that we usually put out, like the Bible, the cross? Usually, the demon would start going crazy. And then they find out that it's a curse and that there's a thing underneath the house. And then the flashback scene that I couldn't handle. Because I always wanted a waterbed. Like when I saw those 80s movies, I always wanted a waterbed. And now I don't. I really don't.
You're scared something might grab you from underneath.
No, because like this kid was just like having the time of his life, just enjoying this waterbed, and then you just see a figure like beside him. I was like, oh my god! I don't know. I just really love that scene, and yeah, and you see how smooth of a transition a possession happens. Like it just grabs his arm, makes him scream a bit, and then the thing's gone. It's already in him.
It's in me.
Yeah. So I don't know. I love that scene. Any thoughts on the waterbed scene, or did I miss anything?
Again, the poor kid. He's just supposed to lie down on a waterbed. Probably his first time too. It's like, this feels great.
But yeah, so they find the cursed object, and they bring it to this. The actor's name escapes me.
John
He was
Noble.
the guy from. Is his name John Noble?
Yeah.
The guy from Fringe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's also the Mad King and Return of the King. We like tried to burn the
Oh
sun.
yeah, he was. He was.
Yeah.
I didn't notice that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and he's Scarecrow in Arkham Knight.
Oh.
Yeah.
But yeah, I love this actor so much. He plays such a really good like villain all the time, or a villain or a really creepy, unsettling dude.
Yeah.
Yeah. He has that voice. I love it. I really do. But yeah, they go back to this house, and I had instant red flags when they got like the this connection, and then Lorraine Warren was just pretty much, I don't want to go where he's going. I was like, shit, bitch, what do you feel? Tell me. But yeah, I don't know how people live with cursed objects or like just pentagrams or a figure of a goat man.
I mean, just ask the
In there.
Warrens.
I know, but I mean, like, pretty sure they like holy water that thing every 5,000 kilometers or something like that. I don't know.
Yeah. I do like the scene, going back a bit, where the lawyers like convince me that demonic possessions exist, or the prove that the devil's real, and then she's like, "All right, come to our house, have dinner."
Alright. Come to our house, have dinner. We'll make her meet Annabelle. And she was like, "Yep, you know what? This boy possessed. Well,
The next scene is her like, "I've seen some shit."
I felt bad.
I wish they showed it. Like,
I wish they showed it too.
I wish they showed.
like come over to our house for dinner. Like, okay, happens off screen, and then we never hear from her ever again.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was the one disappointing part. I really did want to see her like get freaked out or experience something from, and like I would love to have seen like how the Warrens handle that kind of shit. Like, oh, they're gonna show it off they want something to happen, and how do they not make it go too far? I really wanted to see that.
Yeah.
But that was like that shit was like comedic,
Yeah.
and that was a little bit jarring in my opinion. That scene, but it was kind of funny, but it was a bit jarring. Yeah. And then they started piecing shit together throughout the story, and they find was this girl? Was these two girls like one of the first victims of this whole
Uh,
curse thing?
Katie and I think Jessica was the other one.
Yeah, Katie and Jessica were like the first victims of this witch. And oh, by the way, they start revealing that there is a witch and how she controls the demon. She could pretty much
Yeah.
on command possess somebody, and then they found out that they have to destroy the altar. But yeah, and then they started investigating into it, and they got the information that they wanted. And I really hate those. It's not. It's kind of lame. This kind of jump scare is that Lauren is looking into the woods, looks at a tree, and then what comes out was like, just two girls. I'm like, I hate those.
Yeah, it's
Let it be
cheap.
something scary. Let it just be something scary. Like, yeah, it's already a cheap jump scare,
Yeah.
but it's like something that's not scary. So I'm like, I legit, I was like watching it. I was like, I went like that. I was like, okay. And, but yeah, and she's pretty much reliving these last moments of these two girls as one murders the other, and the other one runs to a cliff. Said suicide, but not really because she got pulled in by the demon.
Yeah.
And Ed Warren pretty much had to catch Lorraine. Again, this bitch is like temperamental. Like Lorraine is very temperamental.
Uh,
And I felt bad for him because he had to chase her with a heart problem.
with a bad ticker.
Yeah, I was like, damn.
I thought he was gonna have another one where he was trying to pull her up. It's like, oh god, he's gonna die right then and there. Because
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
causes infinite amounts of more stress in the heart to pull someone up by one hand. It's like, is he gonna die? No.
Just
I'm-
imagine
I'm-
having a
I'm-
heart attack.
I'm surprised he didn't just straight up go into cardiac arrest then and there.
Yeah, exactly, like his wife falling off and him just catching it,
Yeah.
and just pretty much the stress alone by that just like did.
That's a lot of cardio, bro. I'm just saying.
Who knows? Maybe he ran like marathons before this thing happened.
Yeah, but that's not what the first bad ticker.
Yeah. And then, God, anything else happened between the scenes? No, not really. Okay. So, we get to the part where they're piecing things together. They finally put out a map, and they're using the vision of Lorraine to piece out where this location is. And they tracked it to this one specific area, and within that area, around that specific time, is that where that fringe guy lives. And I was like, I called it. I called it. Plot twist. I called it. I didn't trust this fucker. But yeah, so Lauren goes towards him for help, and Ed finds out that he might be connected to the witch.
Might
That-
be.
Well, he is connected to the witch. Well, no, he didn't know yet that he might be connected to the witch that has been causing these possessions. And as they go there, then you pretty much find out that it's his daughter who's pretty much causing all these possessions and like scary, spooky shit that's happening around the town. And this is the scene that I love the most in this movie.
Is it
It's like
when
it
Ed goes
yo, wait.
Hmm?
Because I swear to God, this bitch, she should be like, putting up odd jobs, like assassin groups. Because, like, yeah, it turns out that it's his daughter, but he wants her to stop. He is actually a good guy. He's not a bad guy, so I didn't call it. And helps Lorraine escape because the witch is pretty much inside the house as well. And that scene where he confronts her, puts a gun on the table, and she's like maybe 10 feet away from him. and you just see her silhouette. You can see that she's just right there, and then she goes into a shadow, and she's right behind him and slits his throat. I was like, that shit was cool.
Yeah,
That shit's sick.
that's pretty dope.
That shit's sick. Like this bitch should be an assassin. Should get paid well.
Oh, poor guy. Didn't even put up much of a fight. It's like, I,
Yeah.
I don't want to fail. So it's like,
I failed as a father.
yeah,
And yeah, I don't know. I just really love the assassination scene because this bitch is very like resourceful. Yeah. Then we get to pretty much the. There's also that one scene where she looked like Lorraine and she was running towards Ed
and blows dust in his face.
and like turns into the witch and blows dust in his face. I was like,
that was really cool.
yeah. Like again, this woman's like a magician.
Yeah,
Like if you just work for the government or something, just be an assassin.
Like this
You'll
movie
be well.
did its special effects really, really well.
yeah.
Yeah, it did. Like it's so smooth. Like I really don't know how they do it. Well, I guess they do cut, but again, it is such a cool transition from one scene to another.
I do like how this last fight is at the same time that this is happening. The person, poor Arnie's being possessed again, as about to
yeah,
cut
yeah.
himself, and then the poor guards
Yeah.
are like, out of all the riots we've seen, this is the craziest shit I've ever seen in my life.
Hey, just saying, there were eyewitnesses, like at
Yeah.
the background,
Yeah.
of like the nurses and the guards.
Yeah.
So I'm like, just saying, if y'all still don't believe this boy was possessed when he killed that man, y'all tripping.
And it's just the poor receptionist going, "What the fuck is happening?"
Yeah, she was like, I guess we have that now. How do we restrain that? But to be honest, I feel like the scene didn't have to be here, but it was more suspense, I guess.
Yeah.
Like it was like, oh, they have to hurry up, destroy the altar.
Before poor Arnie slits his own throat.
Yeah,
Yeah,
or before Ed kills Lorraine.
It felt a lot like, oh shit, we've been here a while. Get to the main part of the movie. Yeah.
Back to Arnie.
Yeah, they kind of forgot about Arnie when they were exploring the forest with Lorraine and Ed in the hospital.
Yeah, I forgot about Arnie.
They're like, Arnie who? Oh yeah, that's the main guy who's possessed. Though when Ed was swinging that sledgehammer around, I was like, for a guy with a bad ticker, swinging it like a pro.
I mean, like, demon possession is the cure for heart disease.
Apparently.
Like, this man had so much stamina for a
Yeah.
guy with a heart disease.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna have a heart disease. Sing a Latin chant.
You can't walk.
Make a ritual circle with goat's blood.
There we
You
go.
can't walk. Put a pentagram. Say Satan's name 3 times. But there's the part where it kind of lost me though. Is that when he was about to kill Lorraine, and they start having this whole what she fears is what she thinks what's our weakness is our love, but no, it's our strength. I was like, okay,
Sure. Love
you
saves
had
the
me
day.
up to that point. You had me up to that point. And yeah, he breaks the altar, and nobody gets possessed, but the witch.
Oh, for
And
his-
this
for
part
which-
was cool for body horror. In my opinion, this part was cool,
Yeah.
where the witch like, oh, you made a deal with the devil, and that is you need a soul to appease him. And sadly, you didn't offer it, so he's taking yours. And she starts contorting in the ways that I feared in the start of the movie.
And she feels
And-
it too.
And she feels it. Like, holy shit. Like, this was like that one SWAT team from Invincible kind of deal. She got, like, legit
Yeah.
twist in her. She's, like, drooling from the pain. I was like, this is so cool. I really love that part. And they got committed. For me, sure, cut somebody's throat up or stab somebody, sure, that's horrifying. But seeing somebody move in a way that they're not supposed to and hearing bones crack, that's for me, that's way gross. Way more gross. And
I mean, it's just more gross than it is scary.
Yeah, it
yeah, it
is.
is. It was more gross than scary.
Oh god, her
And
spine.
for everything, like when the devil finally took her soul, she went limp, but her body was still stiff. I was like, damn.
uh,
And what else? Oh yeah, they gave us one last jump scare with like the demon going ah,
yeah,
and I was like, okay, a little bit cheap, but just
that
all
was
right,
cheap.
all right, finish the movie. Just finish the movie. God damn. Yeah, yeah.
And
I,
Arnie is not guilty.
I,
Yay.
no, he is guilty. He
I
went to
mean,
5 years in prison.
he's not, death sentence.
uh, well, yeah, for the ends of the Lorraines, this is their last case, right? Like, if I
One
remember
of,
reading
it's
the
either the last one
synopsis,
or one of the last ones.
one of the last like cases that they did before they retired. And that was actually a really sweet scene where they showed that they kissed under a gazebo the first date that they had, and then he built a gazebo. Hopefully not by himself because again heart problem.
I just remember the joke by John Mulaney every time he said gazebo.
we so here are the names of the dead, but nonetheless a gazebo.
Yay. I do like going back a bit. Like I like the judge's reason. The judge's reason of like we can't accept demonic possession or being possessed by the devil because every nut job will come up with that same reason every time they're. You see why the
Exactly.
the judge says we can't accept that reason. Are you kidding me?
Yeah,
It's like why did you
because
bash a person's brain is in? I was
oh,
possessed by the
I'm
devil.
possessed. Oh,
Yeah.
sure, whatever. Uh, and we get to the last part, which is like the end credits of them showing actual audio of the possession
Those
of
parts always get me, to be honest. Like, oh god.
yeah of the kid from the start.
Yeah.
And for me, I found that really cool.
Yes.
And again, why do people fight demons? Why do you think you got power over that thing?
Yeah.
Don't trash talk it mid exorcism. God damn.
But yeah,
But,
like I said, this is based on a real story, but the real story stops when they introduce the witch doctor. It's like,
yeah.
and we need to bring some excitement to the story. Come on, guys.
And you lost me.
Yeah.
Yeah, they took a lot of liberties with this, but that uh kind of irked me a bit because they did say this is based on a true story, but they didn't clarify that we took some liberties of telling an exciting story.
I mean that kind of goes without saying.
Yeah, I mean, that's
Yeah,
almost
yeah,
every story, every movie that says based on a real story. Like, how?
Yeah, like
but yeah, sure, but they went to the extreme here.
I mean, that's like a non horror movie. Braveheart takes a lot of liberties. Like, he never met the French
Oh, okay,
princess or whatever,
okay,
but like, it's
that's
still a good
true.
movie. And this is
yeah.
Okay,
I'll say my rating for later, but yeah.
yeah,
Movies
yeah,
can take
but
liberties sometimes.
yeah. So I don't know. I have a question for all of you. Like, did you all have any like scary, spooky experiences, like in your life, just at least once, or like, did you any of you experience anything, especially in Canada? Are there Canadian ghosts?
Not in Canada, but I have had several like freaky fucking experiences.
Oh, do tell.
Well, this one time, I was, it was in high school, and
CST?
we, yeah, and we were all
Shit.
sleeping in campus, right?
Yeah,
This is like my first or second year,
yeah.
and like you know how you have ghost stories about the school, right? Because
Hmm.
like of its history, and how it used to be like a Japanese school.
Yeah.
Right. Well, so we were all like chilling in the classroom, like late at night, and then like we hear like this really large like racket outside the classroom, and just you just hear like a large like a loud like crash. So we got to check it, and um, a whole like aisle of lockers had like fallen over, like the chain snapped and everything.
Dear
Wait,
Lord.
I've been to this school, and if you've seen these lockers, they're hooked on by a chain, just in case somebody
Yeah,
pushes it a little bit too hard.
yeah,
But these things won't fall on their own if that chain
yeah.
wasn't
No,
there.
no, no. Like the lockers themselves are pretty heavy, so
Yeah,
like and there's like a whole like island, just like
Dear God.
I haven't experienced any ghost stories back in our old school, so fuck that shit. How about you, Enzo? Do you have any ghost stories that you like to tell?
Um, I was coming back from Star Mall because I was getting soda for a party
Hmm.
my tito was having. It was pretty late. It was like 10 already. Just walking back
Of
through the
course, it's
park.
from Star Mall.
Yeah, that's the only one near me. And I was walking back, just taking my time, kind of, because I like walking through the park. And then I see this man on the bench. I was like,
Hmm.
that's very strange. Why is he all alone? And then he's kind of following me with his eyes, but I can tell for some reason his face is blacked out. And I turn
Hmm.
again, and he's gone. And I turn to my side. Alright, that's weird. And then once I'm near the exit, I hear something a stick crack behind me. Turn around, notice it's the same guy right behind me. That his eyes were as black as the night sky. I start running. The funniest thing is the guy was like, "Sir, saan ka pupunta?" I was going,
What the fuck? No bullshit. What the fuck?
and then I panicked so much that I left the damn soda in the park.
No, the most the thing that I won't believe is that you ran. I'm so sorry.
Yeah, man, I ran faster than any time in my life that day. I was like,
That's also
fuck
one
that.
thing. You ran fast. I don't believe that.
Sure, that's like as fast as in my own mind that we have that.
No, just knowing that. I don't know if it was a ghost. That shit's scary. But if it was like say just a crazy dude from the park, that's scarier. That is way
I
more
didn't stick
scary.
around to find out. Like maybe it's a crazy guy. I was like, fuck that. I'm not dying tonight.
I ain't going back to your place, man. Fuck that shit. Know that there's a crazy guy who's just dark.
uh,
Uh,
how about you, Joe? I know you have one hell of a
uh,
story.
yeah. So back in the about a few years ago, around I think 2015 or 2016, I was back in my province in Antique, and it's where my dad's from. And uh, we there's a beach house that my tita has out in front of in front of the ocean, and we have another house behind it, which is a little bit of more of a walk,
Hmm.
but it's just a simple 2 to 3 minute walk. And then my Lola, she was like my grandmother. But yeah, so so I pretty much offered like, "Yeah, I'll lock it for you, Lola. All right, I'm a good grandson." And just saying, between this house and that house is just darkness and woods. Again, this is the province. There is no street lamps, but I had my flashlight, and so yeah, I locked the door, and I was just walking back. There is a creek going towards the beach. There's a little creek and a bridge over it, and I had to go through that. And as I was going through it, I see a figure in the creek. Nobody does this. Everybody always goes over the bridge. Nobody looks at the creek or stands in the creek. But there's somebody in the creek. Again, it is dark, but I see him or it. I don't know what it is.
Hmm.
And to be honest, I was like, okay, I'm gonna walk a little bit faster, but just pretend that I don't see it. I do see it at the corner of my eye. I keep my eye on it just in case it fucking moves. And I get to the gate, lock the door, open the gate, lock the door, toss the keys at my Lola's place. I didn't even bother putting it somewhere proper, and I ran up. And then the next morning, I told my Lola and my tita about the story, and especially my family. And my family was like, "Oh, probably just saw something, and it's all in his head." But then my dad and my Lola were like, Oh, so you saw them? I was like, hmm. Yeah, there are a few
Nani?
them.
What now? Who?
Excuse me?
Excuse me? No, yeah. So they say, oh, you saw them. Oh, nakita mo sila. I was like, what do you mean? Oh, children tend to go missing in that creek. I was like, okay, okay, okay.
So you saw a child?
I don't know if
You...
I saw a child or the thing that took the child.
Oh, okay.
So again, this is the province. The only source of light is either from the house or moonlight. And I saw this thing from moonlight. Kind of romantic, but scary as fuck.
Have you ever danced with the devil in the pale moonlight?
Almost.
That's
we've been dancing to baduts because that was a hot thing back in the day.
oh my god.
But
Let's move
yeah,
on to ratings,
so,
shall we?
yeah, you should. So yeah, how about you guys? What would you rate this movie?
6. That's
Would love
alright.
it.
It's good. I'll watch it
Wow, that was quick.
if it's on like TV, but like I won't, look for it to rewatch it.
Yeah, I can see that. I can see it.
Yeah, I'm sort of in the same camp. It's like overall, I'd say it's a good movie. Like I enjoyed my time with it. I'm probably gonna forget about this in the next 36 hours.
I already forgot. That's why I had to write the script.
Um, I, I will say though, we didn't talk about this, but one of my favorite scenes is when uh, when Ed and Lorraine return to their house, like near like the midway point of the movie,
Hmm.
and Ed starts like seeing things, like he gets like these weird visions or like gets possessed or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And like
Mm-hmm.
that dude from the fat guy from the morgue shows up, the fucking Rat King.
Oh shit! I forgot about the scene.
Rat King 2.0. That was so fucking funny.
Yeah, it
I was like, what the fuck are you gonna do against Big Chungus, bro?
what are you gonna do against Big Chungus?
Like it's a horror movie, but god damn, that scene was just funny to me.
There are great scenes here.
Yeah.
Man. But returning to the question at hand, the rating I'm giving this movie is a 6. Like
Is it sick?
it's not like I wouldn't say it's boring. Like it did enough to keep my attention throughout the entirety of the film, but I think it could have done with like another extra 20 minutes
Yeah.
and just a little more focus instead of all this like bouncing around like cross country.
Aspect of this movie, and it's alright. Hopefully. We'll do a review on this in the future, especially if it's Halloween.
Oh yeah.
You guys
Oh,
want to
yeah.
dress up for Halloween?
Like the only like pieces of horror media that I would say like actually scared me are one Insidious and two Doki Doki Literature Club.
Yeah, I get you. I get you. Fuck you, Monica.
Oh god.
The real ones, no.
The real one.
Like Doki. Okay, look. Okay, look. Doki Doki Literature Club. Like that's what I think horror should be. Right? Like that's how I think horror
A
should be
facade.
executed. Just like horror that like fucks with your brain and makes you question everything you know,
It fucking does.
and like shit that invades your reality.
I would love it if we do a stream, but like
Well-
Enzo as Yuri, I'll go as Natsuki. You'll be like Monica or
What the?
yeah, come
What
on.
is this?
Come
What
on.
is DLC roleplay?
Yeah, yeah. Or you just be main character Kun and me and Enzo will voice all the girls.
Oh, great! I can finally have my own harem.
Uh,
Edward Kuhn, would you read this book with me?
um,
Did you just call me Edward?
Yes, I will name you Edward Kuhn.
You absolute, you insolent spaghetti guzzling fuck.
before
I love how
Joe
you
goes,
know my favorite food is spaghetti.
before Joe goes on, did you give your rating already, Joe?
Yeah, I did. It was a
Just for one
6.
part.
Yeah. So pretty much closing this video.
Here's two questions for you. Do you guys think this is enough of the Conjuring universe? For your
Yes,
thoughts?
Let it
you gotta
die.
stop.
Let it
You
die.
please
Let
let
it
it
die.
die.
Yeah,
The first one was good. Leave it be.
yeah, we can stop at this
Direct
point.
another movie. Yeah.
Yeah, and I haven't kind of answered it, but what's your favorite horror movie, Joe?
Horror moment in the movie?
Favorite horror movie?
Oh, favorite horror movie, Shutter.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Shutter is
Indonesians know their shit. Indonesians know their shit. How about you, Enzo?
I'm thinking of a recent one that it's not new, but it's something I saw like a few months ago. It was just the Exorcism of Emily Rose. Just by the
Oh.
performance of the person possessed, I was like, God
Hmm.
damn, that's terrifying.
Especially Hereditary. Hereditary's pretty good. You need to try that movie.
I haven't seen it. I'll check it out.
Yeah. All right. But yeah, this is pretty much the end of our video. Yeah. Wear a mask. Please get vaccinated. Don't go out all the time. Social distance. Please follow all the rules. And thank you to all you geeks and degenerates out there for watching. And we'll see you guys next time.
ciao.
Goodbye, everybody.
Love you.